Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Zhenghai did not respond to Zhu Honggong. Zhu Honggong rose to his feet and stretched his limbs as he yawned. After that, when he saw Zhenghai did not move, he called out, Zhenghai. When Zhu Honggong recalled yesterday's event, he felt he had been too silly in the past. He could have let his eldest senior brother do all the manual labor. His second senior brother was smart enough to realize that. Zhu Honggong moved his limbs for a moment before he sat down. Then, he said, "Get up. Fetch me a basin of water so I can wash my face." Zhenghai sat up stiffly with movements that resembled that of an animated corpse. Zhu Honggong glanced at Zhenghai and urged him, "Huh? Why are you still sitting?" Zhenghai. Zhenghai turned to face Zhu Honggong. His voice was domineering as he said, "What did you call me?" Zhu Honggong yawned again. He did not even look at Zhenghai as he said, "What? Should I call you little you?" Zhu Honggong suddenly felt that the atmosphere was not right. He turned to look at Zhenghai, who was sitting in a stately manner at the edge of the bed. He was instantly stunned. Zhenghai's expression was dark and extremely solemn. He was frowning slightly. Part of his clothes was torn as he had regained his original physique. His posture, expression, aura, and his gaze. Zhenghai merely looked at Zhu Honggong coldly and silently. Then, he flipped a palm, and the jasper saber on the nearby rack flew to him swiftly. An energy saber materialized for an instant around the blade. His control over primal chi and the materialization of the energy sabers were extremely masterful. Zhenghai's gaze fell upon the jasper saber. He rolled up his sleeves and wiped it lightly as though he was wiping down an old friend. After waking up from his sleep, it was as though he had awakened as a different man. He had slept deeply and for a long time, as though he had been sleeping for centuries. He did not leap into a fit of rage, nor did he say anything to Zhu Honggong. He only continued to wipe his jasper saber. After a while, Zhenghai raised the jasper saber toward the sunlight shining through the window. He circulated some primal chi. It buzzed before his energy saber materialized for an instant and disappeared again. The room was silent. After a long time, Zhenghai heaved a long sigh. He was back. He had finally awoken from his dream. He rose to his feet with his hands on his back. Thud. Zhu Honggong fell to his knees as tears streamed down his face. Eldest senior brother. Will you believe me, if I told you that I was only joking with you earlier? When he saw the look in Zhenghai's eyes earlier, he knew that the eldest senior brother he was familiar with had returned. Oh, fourth senior brother. You really got me good this time. What should I do now? Zhenghai's expression was calm when he looked at Zhu Honggong. He did not seem angry. He only said, "Get me a set of clothes. I'll go at once. Prepare the water for my bath," Zhenghai added. Right away. Zhu Honggong scampered away. He purchased a new set of clothes and personally carried buckets of water. Eldest senior brother, allow me to rub you down. Zhu Honggong was determined to stay. Zhenghai said, "No need. I'll be waiting outside, then. If there's anything you need, just call me." "I'll be here," Zhu Honggong said with a bow. Zhenghai asked, "Where's your second senior brother?" When Zhu Honggong heard this, he said with a sigh, "Second senior brother fell into the 100,000-foot deep abyss to save you. His whereabouts are unknown." Zhenghai said nothing else. Zhu Honggong sensed the change in the atmosphere, and he respectfully left the room. The sun was high in the sky. After changing into his new clothes, Zhenghai emerged from the room. He stood with his back straight and his hands on his back as he looked at Zhu Honggong, who was leaning against the door frame and dozing off. Old eighth. Zhu Honggong jolted awake. He hurriedly bowed. Eldest senior brother. He was extremely nervous. Eldest senior brother, please don't hold a grudge against me. Bring me to master. All right. The two of them walked out of the courtyard. The instant the two Nether Sect disciples who were guarding the entrance saw him, their eyes reddened as they fell on one knee. Welcome back, Sect Master. Zhenghai stopped and nodded. You've done well. Despite his curt words, the two Nether Sect disciples were touched. Along the way, the Nether Sect disciples the duo encountered would fall to their knees when they saw Zhenghai. Welcome back, Sect Master. At the second intersection, Zhu Tianyuan walked up to the duo. He said jokingly, "Son, hurry up and look for your master. You've put this off for too long. Your eldest senior brother has grown taller again. This form is nice. Finally, he's starting to look the part of the eldest senior brother." Zhu Honggong. Zhu Honggong felt like crying. No. Father is going to put his foot in his mouth again. However, contrary to Zhu Honggong's expectations, Zhenghai did not seem to mind. His back was straight as he cupped his hands together and said, "Greetings, uncle. There's no need to be so courteous. Do you have time today? I'll teach you another saber skill. It's much better than your great dark heaven memorial." Young Zhenghai had lost his memories, after all. He had been asking advice from the people around him and asking them to spar with him. The eight-leaf Huang Shiji and Zhu Tianyuan became natural targets for him to seek guidance from. Zhu Tianyuan raised a palm, and an energy saber hovered above his palm. Zhenghai smiled. He extended 2 fingers of his right hand, and a rapidly spinning energy saber immediately materialized before him. When he spread his hands, the energy saber suddenly enlarged. Then, he pushed his palm up, and the energy saber shot into the heavens. It was dazzlingly brilliant. Whiz! The energy saber instantly split into thousands upon thousands of energy sabers. What a magnificent sight! Finally, Zhenghai fisted his hand, and the energy sabers disappeared as though they were never there in the first place. Zhu Tianyuan was as stunned as a wooden chicken. Zhenghai said calmly, "Indeed, the 10,000 blades is a great saber technique. However, it focuses too much on splitting one into 10,000. That splits the might of the energy saber. Hence, the energy sabers are in disarray. It's flashy but insubstantial. In fact, it's somewhat of a waste. If you arrange the energy sabers into a saber formation, it can work wonders. For example." He extended 2 fingers again. An energy saber burst forth. He spread his fingers. The energy saber enlarged, spun upward, and split into 10,000 blades. Unlike before, these 10,000 energy sabers formed the outline of the 8 gates formation. The energy sabers affected boosted each other, and their might was multiplied. Zhenghai fisted his hand again, and the energy sabers disappeared. Then, he placed his hands on his back and asked, "What do you think, uncle?" Zhu Tianyuan. This saber technique, the level of primal chi application, the transformations of the energy sabers, and his entire aura. Was this the adult Zhenghai? Zhenghai did not wait for an answer. Instead, he walked away with his hands on his back toward his master's courtyard. Zhu Tianyuan was still stunned speechless. "Son. You know. Get lost." Zhu Honggong hurried after Zhenghai. Zhu Tianyuan could hear words like "You're amazing, eldest senior brother. And the ancient saint cult saber techniques are rubbish." Was this his son? He could understand the compliments, but why must his son insult him as well? What an ingrate. Zhu Tianyuan stood in stunned silence as he watched Zhenghai's retreating back. Zhenghai and Zhu Honggong finally arrived at their master's courtyard. Zhenghai walked to the door respectfully, knelt, and loudly said, "The rascal, Zhenghai, is here to greet his master." He kowtowed before he said again, "I'm back." Inside the room, Zhou opened his eyes slowly. He looked at the scenery outside the window. The sun was bright. He felt as though he had slept through a generation. He looked at the setting sun as though he was sitting under the pavilion halfway up Golden Court Mountain. It had only been a short while, but he felt as though it had been a long time. He opened his palms and looked at them. After reversing his life, his mind and spirits felt much better. Based on the voice and the words, Zhou knew Zhenghai was kneeling outside. Yu Zhenghai's voice, words, and his senses told him the adult Yu Zhenghai had returned. Come in. When Yu Zhenghai heard his master's gruff voice, he was inwardly delighted. He rose to his feet immediately and entered the room. Zhu Honggong wanted to follow Yu Zhenghai into the room, but he never liked such situations in the first place. The atmosphere was usually heavy and stifling. He thought about gathering everyone here to make it a merrier occasion. That way, his eldest senior brother might even forget those unhappy incidents. With this thought in mind, he said, "Eldest senior brother, I'll notify the others." Yu Zhenghai entered the room. It was spacious and brightly lit. His master was sitting in a stately manner inside. He walked up to his master and kneeled again. Greetings, master. Zhou studied Yu Zhenghai. He was not in a hurry to speak. He was inwardly shocked when he saw Yu Zhenghai's appearance, physique, and build were restored to how they were before he came back to life. Although he expected this to happen sooner or later, he did not expect Yu Zhenghai would revert to his adult self overnight. In any case, it was a good thing. Apart from that, Zhou also noticed Yu Zhenghai's loyalty had risen to 85%. He had expected as much. After a long silence, he said, "I'm glad that you're back." There were no words of admonishment, nor did he bring up past grudges. Even his tone was not as severe as Yu Zhenghai had expected. Yu Zhenghai had even prepared himself to be punished. Regardless of what punishment his master meted out, he would obediently accept it. Master. Stand up and talk. Understood. Yu Zhenghai rose to his feet. Zhou stood up as well. He said, "As you wished, the Nether Sect has conquered the empire." Yu Zhenghai said sheepishly, "It's all thanks to you, master. I'm going to ask you something, and you're going to answer me truthfully." Zhou looked at Yu Zhenghai. "Ask away, master. I'll tell you everything I know." Currently, the 9 provinces are under the Nether Sect's control. I have gravely injured the 12 allied nations. The imperial tutor, Jiang Wenqiu, is dead. The empire can't do without a ruler. Have you ever thought about becoming the emperor? Zhou asked. Upon hearing this, Yu Zhenghai hastily fell to one knee and said, "I dare not. The entire Nether Sect is willing to support you for the throne, master." Zhou shook his head and said, "Do you think that I want that?" Yu Zhenghai was taken aback. Then, he thought it was obvious. If his master had truly wanted that position, was there a need for his master to wait until now? Just tell me if you want to become the emperor or not. Under the heavens, who would dare say no? Yu Zhenghai gave it some thought before shaking his head and said, "If this was before my resurrection, I might have said yes. However, now. Pingon is dead, and my wish has been fulfilled. Dying 3 times has taught me much." "It's good that you've thought things through," Zhou said. At this moment, the members of the Evil Sky Pavilion walked into the room. When they saw the adult Yu Zhenghai, they looked surprised. It was customary for the juniors to greet their seniors. Duanmu Sheng, Ming Shirin, Zhao Yu, Yi Tianqin, Si Wuya, Zhu Honggong, Xia Yuan, and Kong greeted Yu Zhenghai in unison. "Greetings, eldest senior brother." If the throne had lost its allure to him before this, the current situation made him feel even more certain he did not want to become emperor. Life was a series of giving and taking. There were many things that could not be possessed at the same time. Sect Master. The 4 great protectors rushed over when they heard the news. When they saw the adult Yu Zhenghai, they kneeled with tears brimming in their eyes. These were Yu Zhenghai's comrades who went through thick and thin on the battlefield with him. He walked to them and helped them to their feet before patting their shoulders. The others greeted him as well. "Welcome back, Mr. First." Yu Zhenghai was not someone who loved to put on airs. He cupped his fists at the elders. Everyone who should be here was here. The only one missing was Yu Shangrong. Yu Zhenghai turned to face his master and said, "Second junior brother fell into the 100,000-foot deep abyss to save me. Master. I request for permission to enter the abyss and rescue second junior brother." Zhou shook his head and said, "It's extremely dangerous in the abyss. With your abilities, I'm afraid you won't make it back." See, Wuya chimed in, the black water at the bottom of the abyss is home to high-rank beasts. From what Master described, these beasts aren't weaker than Chenghuang. Even with senior sister Tianxin's 8-leaf cultivation base, she could do nothing about Chenghuang. Going down the abyss without a proper plan is equivalent to rushing to your death. The others nodded. Humans had a natural tendency to fear and avoid darkness. Zhenghai said, "What do you think we should do now?" Yu Shangrong was now in the Red Lotus domain. He could not sit back and do nothing. Si Wuya said, "There's no need to be anxious, eldest senior brother. The red coffin is a kind of transporter. It can enter the abyss. I've dispatched some men to retrieve the red runes scattered by Jiang Wenxiu when he lost. I believe that we might be able to build the same red coffin." "That's good." Zhenghai nodded. Zhou Yu stepped forward. She bowed and said, "Eldest senior brother, you should take control of the divine capital." Before she could finish, Zhenghai shook his head and said, "You do it." Zhou Yu. Jiang Aijian immediately chimed in, "I concur. Nobody said that women can't take the throne." Even the great third prince of Great Yen had given his support. The others would not have anything else to say about this. Besides, Zhou Yu was of the imperial family, and she had the favor of the Empress Dowager. In terms of acceptance, the officials would be more willing to accept her being on the throne. The others smiled. "But..." Zhou Yu stammered. "No buts. Don't even think about declining." "I have only one request," Zhenghai said. "What is it, eldest senior brother?" "Treat my comrades well," Zhenghai said. "You don't have to worry about that, eldest senior brother. They're indispensable to Great Yen," Zhou Yu said with a smile. "I'm relieved to hear that." Perhaps, they did not expect this simple conversation to result in the election of an empress. When Hua Chongyang and the others heard this, they wanted to speak up. However, Zhenghai raised his hand to stop them. He said, "I know what you're going to say. I've made up my mind. There's no need to persuade me." The 4 great protectors bowed and said nothing. Lu Zhou nodded. He was pleased. He could see they had let go of their obsessions. This was not an easy thing to do. This would also be useful to their cultivation in the future as well. In the end, he said, "If there's nothing else, let's call it a day." The next stage of his cultivation was extremely important. The others bowed and left. The 9 provinces had settled down. They needed more time to build the red coffin. Zhenghai suddenly felt bored. He had just stepped outside the room when he called out, "Fourth junior brother." "Yes, eldest senior brother?" Mingshi responded. "I heard your cultivation base has improved tremendously. I've just recovered. Train with me." Mingshi. "You don't look so good," Zhenghai said, puzzled. "Eldest senior brother, I'm no match for you," Mingshi said in an aggrieved tone. Zhenghai nodded before he shifted his gaze to Duanmusheng and said, "Third senior brother, let's do it." Duanmusheng agreed without any hesitation. "Sure. You, too, old 8th. Zhenghai pointed at Zhu Honggong. "Huh?" Zhenghai did not even wait for Zhu Honggong's answer. He placed his hands on his back and proceeded to the plaza. The 3 of them had no choice but to follow him. Soon after, there were cries from 3 opponents being beaten up by a single opponent rang in the air. The others could only sigh. Meanwhile, in the Thousand Willow Monastery in the Red Lotus domain, Yu Shangrong leaned on the rail and looked at the scenery. "Senior, I've gathered the information you wanted. The person who killed the Luan was Yizhen. He's the elder with the highest status from the Flying Star House. After that feat, Yizhen's fame skyrocketed. The Luan was guarding a place called the Black Water Mystic Cave. That's not a place where cultivators dare get close to. Every year, the Sky Marshal Court would send dozens of cultivators into the cave, and none of them ever came back," Ji Fengxing said. "Nobody survived?" Yu Shangrong was puzzled. "You might not know this, senior, but the Black Water Mystic Cave is extremely vast. You can't see anything in there. It's also rumored that there are many high-rank beasts in the cave. It's too dark inside, and it's far too easy to lose your way. Even 9-leaf cultivators won't simply enter that place. Nobody knows where it leads to. Such was the workings of fate. Not even 9-leaf cultivators would underestimate the Blackwater Mystic Cave, and yet, Yu Shangrong survived it. Thank you, Yu Shangrong said. In exchange for that, I'll teach you a basic sword technique. Ji Fingxing was overjoyed when he heard this.